Yo, it's your boy FB, boy. This is Vertical Talk coming at you. Yo. It's your boy FB, man. Live in the flesh, man. Once again, man. First and foremost, man, let me give the highest power, man, that which has created me and has preserved me, all my glory. You dig? All praise is due to him. You dig? To the brothers and the sisters that I left behind, man, in those walls, languishing, man, fighting to get out of them. Respect. You heard? And may your journey, bring you closer to your freedom sooner than later. Yo, I got my co-host with me, man. I got the boy Big Nick, man. Big Nick, Uncle Nick, what's shaking?
Yo, man, I'm feeling fantastic, son. I'm feeling, how I like to say, cooler than a polar bear's toenail in Antarctica. You heard me? You know what I'm saying? I'm here with the big bro. It's a vibrant, beautiful day. We got some good stuff to discuss, and we got that synergy. We got that chemistry. We coming through with that jazz, that pizzazz, that je ne sais quoi, that motherfucking boomerang slang. You heard me?
Man, talk about it. Hey, well,
Yeah.
Listen, man, for me, it's kind of bug right now, man, because right now, man, the streets is talking, man. So things have come across my desk, man. Because just last week or the week before that, we did some content on the boy Big U, man. And like I said then, man, I wanted to believe it, bro. You dig? I wanted to believe that he was one of the individuals, like so many of us right now that have come from those dismal walls, man, those desolate cells, and be given the opportunity to be able to re-enter society, would do something with the opportunity, man, that will make us the better versions of ourselves, and to hopefully be a helpful service to the younger brothers and sisters that are now going through some of the similar plights that we went through back in the days, and even worse in certain aspects because of the individuals that they are being governed by or looking up to. And this doesn't happen to be the case now that is being unveiled. Shout outs to the podcast with Soul, man, the brother Sean G, man. He's doing exceptional work, man. He's doing in unveiling and dissecting the ingredients of some of the things that are going on with some of the most notable figures of this day and time, whether they rappers or just regular street individuals and so forth and so on. So I was able to get some, content off of his show, basically smacking down that plea of understanding from the brother Big U, man. In his last ditch of trying to get a support, to get the people of color to support.
Oh, I remember what you talk about now. That vid that we played when he was like, when a black man tried to do good, you see, yada yada. Pick it up. I know exactly what you talk about now.
Facts, you dig?
Yeah.
And me, being a black man and also being brought up in urban city America, I know how it can be when you become a stigmatized figure. I know
Public enemy number one.
Public enemy number one. So I know how overzealous individuals, officers, lawyers, prosecutors, judges, so forth and so on, who are looking to get their accolades met and to climb the chart, so to speak, of their career on the backs of individuals up in the streets that are doing things that would allow them to have career changes to the better, for you to work, but for them the better. So when listening to the brother, I wanted to believe that with everything that I had heard up to the point of him surrendering himself, self-surrendering, that there was truth in his words, and that he was being stigmatized, and that there was a possibility or the potential of him just being caught up because of his
association, affiliation, and determination within being around the gang intervention or being around the youths. Maybe some of these people from in the past still intermingling, coming across. I see how people could say, "Oh, look, he's still with the," but he's in there doing positivity, making career changes, and pushing people in a positive path. But what I'm gathering from you, that wasn't the case right now.
This wasn't the case, and it's disheartening. It's disheartening because here it is, you got on YouTube and you made this plea. And don't get it twisted. A lot of individuals, including myself, seen inconsistencies, but still wanted to give the benefit of the doubt. And that's hard for me to do. Because I've come to a point in life where I doubt people until they earn my benefit. But again, I know what it is to be stigmatized. I know what it is to be, what's considered a gang leader. I know what it is to be. I know what it is to have a target on your back. So with nothing else to be said, what has come out to the light, you dig, is that Big U has actually, without a question, emphatically been caught on wiretaps.
Now, these are the things that I've been hearing buzzing around. I've been bouncing around sometimes. I can't catch every story, bump into everything. But that was the thing that I heard, that there's a cat out there. Let me go back this way because there's some construction going on. I could walk around. A Brick Baby or something like that. And they're saying that he got roped into this whole RICO case based on him being on the phone and it's talking about something that the bro was involved in that wasn't necessarily connected to the foundation, but he wanted tips on his plate for that. And that's how Son got pulled into this whole thing, because they didn't know about what Son was doing. But he was talking about so many things that all these people just got wrapped in by default, allegedly. That's what I was hearing.
Well, what is the actual fact is the paperwork that, the brother, again, man, shout out to the brother Sean G, man. He does, he's very meticulous in what he's doing,
hold on real quick, Frankie. Is that the light-skinned brother that'd be over there doing the workouts and the bar work and all that stuff?
All that facts, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, big up to him. I know exactly who you talking about now. Yeah.
Stand-up individual from all accounts that I know. And when it comes to dissecting the ingredients of transcripts and so forth and so on, man, the bro is, has been spot on for the most part. You did of a number of different individuals. So with this being said, man, he's brought to the light, you dig what I'm saying, that Big U was actually under a federal wiretap, from 2022, November 3rd of 2022, up until the time that he self-surrendered. And in this wiretap is Big U conversating about a number of things that extend from extortion to murder to assaults to intimidation and so forth and so on, man.
Holy guacamole, Frankie!
Firearms and being a convicted felon.
Whoa! Yeah, he just ran the whole gambit, huh? Allegedly,
man, the whole gambit, allegedly, man. And this is what the transcripts of the paperwork of the grand jury indictment that has been unsealed against, Big U. So, and he goes into detail, man, of at the minimum 4 or 5 different instances where phone calls are being intercepted, and one is with the individual Brick Baby concerning a robbery that Big Brick Baby had did.
Yes, that's what I heard about. Yeah.
And Big U basically conversating or making statements to Brick Baby about wanting proceeds or receiving proceeds from
Hold on, Frankie. So you telling me this guy that's supposed to be community revolutionary activist doing all these things, getting all this money, is extorting the gangbangers per se in his crew?
Well.
In so many words, maybe.
Well, let me say this. Maybe
allegedly.
more of a relationship based, but nonetheless, it
But
definitely
hold on. Let me bounce something back to you, Frankie. If I go do something outside and we running as a crew, but you don't find out about it, you find out about it from somebody else, not from me, and then you come back to me. How strong is our allegiance? Because you're supposed to know what's up from the beginning.
What you said, kid, and you make it sense. It's plausible. So yeah, what I do know is, again, these are overt acts, and let me explain what an overt act is, man. You dig from the federal statute. An overt act is not a actual criminal act. It's an individual speaking about an act that can potentially or will lead up to being a criminal act, or has every being a criminal act. So what they do is they use these overt acts to bringing you into conspiracies, or utilizing these overt acts in order to constitute. You dig? Because you need a certain amount of overt acts in order to constitute a racketeering charge. So if they have an individual who is communicating with other individuals who are doing criminal activity or involved in criminal activity, and you are conversating about gaining proceeds, orchestrating how a plot should go down, giving knowledge of the whereabouts of an individual, or so forth and so on. These are considered overt acts. Although an actual crime at that point may not have been committed, it's something that the federal government can use to tie you in to the RICO conspiracy that they may be, looking to bring forth on you, and say, well, we got you for these overt acts, and we got you for 2 or more overt acts, which constitutes a reasonable
For that big chicken dinner.
Exactly. So you become a plate for them, basically, is what I'm saying.
You know what's interesting that you say that, because I have a homeboy, well, associate, whatever you want to call it, someone I know from the street. And he came back from a biz, started doing construction, doing this one too. And he was on the phone one day. Someone asked him a question. He said, hey, I could send you this way for this and that. Boom! Homeboy had to cop out to like a 3 to 4 real quick.
Absolutely.
Just because that made sense. Just because they had him on the phone saying, yo, yeah, this makes sense. I could put you with this person. He didn't necessarily make the deals, change, you know what I mean? But just the talking about it got him caught up.
We had a thing in New York.
So that's an overt, what's it called? Overt, what now? Overt act. Okay.
But in that sense, with your boy, and they kind of run parallel, because it's kind of like what we had in New York at one point in time. The individuals get locked up, and that's called steering.
Yes. Hell yeah.
A crackhead or a weed head or whatever the case may be at that time come to you and say, yo, who got the weed? Who got the
point up the block, you getting roped.
Who got the diesel? And you point in the direction of the diesel man, the weed man, or the crack man. Yo, they got you for steering.
Word to mother, there's another kid I know from uptown. Good kid, got caught up. He do graph, and not good kid, I should say, but not a street person like that. And he used to do graph, so he was on. He got caught up, did a little bit, was on probation. Same shit happened. They came up. We was on 168th for Broadway. They came up there early in the morning too. Son going to work. Yo, where that? Where that? Kept harassing me at the bus stop. He like, yo, just holler at them right there. Bang! Roped them up. He was back and Rikers out, Frank.
Absolutely, man. Hey, man.
Steering traffic. That's what it was called. Steering traffic.
Steering traffic. Absolutely. 100%, man. Vertical shit right there, bro. Listen, man. Let me. Yo, man. Listen, man. I send my sincerest, prayers that, some way, hopefully, homie can make it out of it. But what I know about the federal system, the federal government, and the laws that they abide by, is that what I have been able to see in the form of this paperwork, or hear in the form of what they have on him at this point, being a convicted felon, and without a question, they've already attached that
jacket to him. Yeah,
gang leader on him. This is gonna be a rough road for Big U, man. This is gonna be a rough road.
Go ahead.
In laying this out, man, the way that Sean G reads it off, man. You know, from November 3rd of 2022, man. You know, when the wiretap, you know, initially started, you got everything from like November 3rd. You got, you know, an overt act of extortion of a weed dispensary individual on November 7th. You know, he got an overt act of extortion, extorting a victim and threatening to kill him. You dig? Or giving that, you know, commentary to another individual in saying that, yo, you know, let such and such know that, yo, basically, I'll kill him. I'll kill that nigga. You dig?
What?
Yeah, you know, on November 14th.
Bomba clot.
He's been caught. He's been, you know, a phone tap intercepted. Him speaking to a former NFL player, you know, that he relayed a message to, or conveyed a message to, in order for them to relay to another individual that, you know, because of, it was a producer, and basically let him know that I would come down there and beat the shit out of him because of some kind of drama that the producer had started between him and Whack 100, you know.
Oh wow!
And on November 22nd, which I believe was like one of the fourth interceptions of others that the feds was able to intercept, he was speaking to an individual that was locked up and basically letting him know that, yo, boy, listen, man, anybody that come for me better come straight up, because I keep two blowers on me, you know, which we know is
this is all in one fucking month. My God.
Yeah, you know, and to go even beyond that, you know, in that same commentary that the brother Sean G was delivering, he speaks of another wiretap that was intercepted on December 31st, which is New Year's, and basically just saying that, you know, Big U, you know, basically, you know, spoke about murders that he was involved in, or may have been involved in, or whatever the case may be, allegedly. You dig? So again, man, now this is where it goes for me, and it goes back to, you know, and I just gotta say it, man. This is just vertical shit, bro. You know, from a brother who has come from the same muck and mire, so to speak, that individuals like myself came from, you know, the poverty, you know, the street life, to make it to a point in life where, as he said before he self-surrendered, you got your own properties. When the police came, they rushed a number of properties that you own, so you wasn't living
in squalor, just check to check, in a little apartment complex or something. You wasn't in the projects, none of that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that you were living in financial straits. Okay. I don't know what the relationship between him and his son may be that I hear is an NFL player. You dig?
Yeah, so, for the LA Chargers.
So if this is not a strange relationship that you and your offspring has, you know, I can only believe, even though it's not your money, it's his money. But usually the child is going to take care of a stand-up parent, mother and father, you know, when they meet.
Factual and actual.
You dig? So what I'm getting at is for you to be, and hold up, and I should have said this first and foremost. Over the years that you have been released from prison, you've had a number of grants granted to you.
Big money too.
You know, open nonprofit organizations and completely, if you chose to stay out of the street life. Yeah. So for me to hear the things that I'm hearing, it makes me only wonder what was the glue that kept you bonded to the kind of lifestyle that once upon a time placed you in prison, that may now potentially place you back in prison for the rest of your life.
Well, you know what blows my mind as well too, because I have a client because I do what I do. That's a higher up in the NFL. I don't, I'm just sharing something with you personal, but I do my charities, I do all my stuff, and
we on YouTube, we on live, so you sharing it with the
with the world, Frankie, you sharing it with the world, baby. You know what I'm saying?
The transparency.
Vertical talk.
Vertical. Let's get it.
Yeah, so I got the so one of my clients, they're higher up in the NFL, and I do my charities and stuff, and they were like, Nick, my operation was small at the time and felt a little insecure, not in what I was doing, but like, yo, he got this whole big wig thing going on and all that. So I said, once I build it up, I'm definitely gonna hit you. But it blows my mind knowing that, what I know through that connection, the NFL does so much charity. That's what he told me. He said, Nick, we got so much things lined up, millions of dollars allocated. All the players donate, the players union, all the owners. Like, man, not saying we could hook you up with millions, but Nick, once you get your shit on and popping, it's legitimate. Yo, we could definitely step in and salute you. So you already got this program and your son's in the NFL. Like that alone is sky's the limit right there, bro.
Yeah. Hey, yo. And
that's crazy.
And because this is vertical, man, give me a second, because I want our audience to know that this ain't nothing that we just pull up on our own, man. You dig? It just comes from us. So I'm gonna let a clip from Sean G, in which I got, certain things. So just to let let our followers, let the YouTubers and whoever is tuned into Vertical Talk hear it from the
horse's mouth. Yeah.
Podcast with Soul. You heard? So here we go.
Big U is caught on wiretaps from November the 3rd, 2022, up until the day he surrenders, which is in March of 2025, November 2023, November 2024. He's on wiretaps for 27 months straight, talking about committing murders, talking about committing violence, talking about extortion, talking about smuggling cell phones into prison, talking about assault, talking about intimidation, things that he'll do, just further solidifying the RICO case against him.
Now
these conversations.
Now let's.
Yo, his ass is grass, Frankie.
And the federal government is about to be the lawnmower.
Word to mother, son. Let's talk about it.
And it's crazy because it kind of runs a line to, like, while I was still in prison, and before I could get any help through the programs or through the justice system, man, I watched individuals who got the help leave prison, and a month later, 2 months later, commit another crime, and not just a crime, but a heinous crime.
Damn.
And prior to them individuals committing that crime, the sentencing commission or the laws were about to change, or they were at least speaking about changing certain laws that would affect a lot of other individuals that have been languishing in prison, giving them some kind of relief. Now the individual or individuals that got out prior to the individuals that would have been up and coming.
Oh, you done burnt the whole bridge already.
The whole bridge comes collapsing because an individual or a couple individuals go out, commits heinous robberies or other murders, and they just got released for a murder. But after they had did 20 years, and whether it was the parole board because they was under the old law, whether it was a law that changed, or whether it was some kind of programming that opened up the door and gave you your good time that you normally wouldn't have gotten.
Yeah, whatever. These advocacy groups that fight for, yeah.
Whatever it was. Yo, donkey, you dig? And this is where it goes back to Charlotte, pin the tail on the donkey of the day. you go out there and you commit something that affects all the other brothers and sisters that are in prison, waiting for their chance, fighting for their chance, and don't have no intention on ever coming back to prison. So they have no intentions of going out and doing anything that would make it remotely possible for them to go back to prison. Individuals go home before them and twist it all up.
But you said something the other day. One bad apple spoils it for the bunch.
There we go, bro. You dig? And this is
well, you know, there's another thing where, hold on, I think I had a clip or something that I wanted to run. There's another thing that threw me off, because now you're saying and breaking this down, Sean G's breaking it down with all these transcripts and wiretaps and all these things. He also used to be online, very like braggadocio with the check-in, with this and that. Hold on, let me show you, Frankie.
Movie production in the hood. That's how we do it, you know, man.
Top flight, baby. Security.
GB running this here movie set in the hood.
Come on out here.
Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting his movies done. You better know it. You know what I mean? Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in,
Oh well. Just gonna check your ass out.
we gonna check you in, all right. We gonna check in all of your equipment. We gonna check in all of your equipment.
Yeah, that was a joint that went viral online, and I just thought it out. I had that in the stash. I'm like,
let me tell you.
he's very braggadocio on the phone.
Go back a little second, bro. Go back like maybe 2 seconds before you cut off, and just watch the dude in the background, not the one.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna run it again.
Yeah, run it.
The security guard guy, or the one that we don't see on camera?
The one that's on camera directly behind Big U, not the guy that had the vest on, that little reflective vest on. But
the other dude.
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, okay.
Movie production in the hood. That's how we do it, you know, man.
Top flight, baby. Security.
GB running this here movie set in the hood.
Come on out here.
Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting his movies done. You better know it. You know what I mean? Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just.
Was that it there, Frankie? A little bit more?
A little bit more.
Hold on, I'm gonna run it back.
Movie production in the hood. That's how we do it, you know, man.
Top flight, baby. Security.
GB running this here movie set in the hood.
Come on out here.
Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting his movies done. You better know it. You know what I mean? Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in,
Oh well. Just gonna check your ass out.
we gonna check you in, all right. We gonna do.
That was the part, Frankie?
Nah, it was just a little bit more, but it's okay, cool. Now I was just looking at the person's disposition, man. It was the guy that was just standing back. He had a black shirt on.
I think he might be a part of that. What's it called? He got a good name for his program. I think that might be the guy that's a part of the program, allegedly.
Well, whatever. What I was seeing is that he was just disinterested in the fuckery that, you know what I'm saying, is saying that Big U was talking. And, and like, it was like, I'm here, but I don't necessarily agree with what you're talking and what you're doing here. You dig? So I was paying attention to the face in the background, and but again, what we're gonna go into is how individuals' mouths can write checks that they ask sooner or later have to cash. And,
well, that's
This is a perfect example of that, because nothing about what the brothers say right then or there has any kind of, or makes me feel that there was nothing less than nefarious intentions in his words. And if I pick that up, the powers that be pick that up, and other individuals from the street like pick that up. So here it is, you place yourself, which I would think, after everything that you've been through. And this is what I mean now. This is just what I mean. This is vertical, baby. About these individuals who go through these schools of higher learning, which is prison, which should be a higher learning, and don't get anything out of it. The same individuals that, you dig what I'm saying, or that we may look up to as G's and OGs, but here it is again. You got all this grant money to do these good things for the youth. You could have situated yourself and your family in a good position due to the things that Allah had allowed you to accomplish in the form of nonprofit organizations and whatever else, because along with the nonprofit organizations, as you just said, you doing movies. You got people coming to you to do movie deals. You didn't have to be on.
He had Nipsey Hussle.
You had a number of individuals. So what would make me think, or what would make me believe that you had any reason to still be attached? And I don't mean being attached or affiliated. If you're doing what's right by the individual or trying to steer them right, is cool. But if you're attached to these individuals and still living vicariously through these individuals, or keeping up the fuckery that we once did when we were little boys, then yo, bro, I can't respect you, bro. I can't respect that. You dig, as an individual that come from the same, a line of lifestyle and so forth and so on. Mine's may be worse in some degrees, yours may be worse in certain degrees, whatever, man, tomato. What I do know is that you made it through the trenches. And even at this point, I got to give you your kudos. You have made it further than I've made it thus far. So for me to know that I come from that same cut, that same cloth of gang affiliation, from being in the trenches, from being a real street dude that was that was a part of street mentality and street criminality, I gotta say, yo, bro, at the age you at, man, you just signed your whole life away for nothing, because you had, I want to believe you had everything. If your resume and what you say out of your mouth, and like I said earlier, the properties that the police rush, you had properties, so at any moment, if you was in financial strait, you could have sold the property. You got a son that, if y'all have a relationship of respect and love amongst father and son, is playing with, what you say, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, and he got the whole football squad that he be hooking up for the kids and this and that, bop, bop, bop. And, I guess the son went through those channels and he's real influential with the sports and different things, getting a little help from this one and that one. You know what I mean? I guess that's how the son really got to maybe the levels he was at. So the father played an influential role. But then there's these allegations that you murdered your son's teammate, somebody that you was putting in the studio and all types of other things. And it's almost like a soap opera, man. It's like, yo, this shit doesn't end. And I don't mean to probe into your past, if you don't mind, but we've talked about things before and different stuff. And one thing I have to commend you about, you told me a story when the lawyer came in and said, yo, man, ba 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 boop 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 dee dee dee. Robert, and he came to you a certain way, and you hit him with the real vertical talks, huh? Boomerang slang. And he said, yo, I respect that. And you know what I respect about the such and such, and these people, the Spanish people and the Chinese, or the woo whoop, they stick together and da da da. And this is easy to break apart. So you already have like this warrior, like fucking Sun Tzu, like real ill mentality of getting it done, but also being sophisticated and slick behind the scenes. So I remember there was another thing where they were like, yeah, they thought you was someone else and such, and boop, boop, boop. But they never called Frankie on the phone talking no, you know what I'm saying? And I have to believe in my mind, in my heart, y'all about the same age. Yeah. So, like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what, like, at this point in your life now, after the fact, you're still doing stuff like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? I got to look at dudes like you and other reputable dudes that they didn't even do that before the bid, and you gonna do that after the bid? Like, what type of time was you on?
Hey, yo, bro, I'm just gonna keep it 100, man, because if it was vice versa, man, and this was me, and by the grace of Allah, I don't plan in no form, fashion, or way placing myself ever in a position where I will ever end up in those walls unless a person violate my family. You dig, or attempting to take food out of my loved ones' mouths in a way that it is totally unavoidable. So with me saying what I say it respectfully, but I say it with just what it is, man. In the immortal words of my man Fred G. Sanford to Lamont, you big dummy.
Yeah, that's a good one, Frankie. Straight up and down like 6 o'clock, son.
Me, and this was the situation that I placed myself in, and I gotta only believe from a real individual standpoint. The brother is sitting in whatever cell right now, and he's saying, "What the fuck did I do?" You dig? Like now, it's all playing a part because I don't care who it is, especially when you done tasted a piece of money to a level that it definitely, that now you can actually really see that, yo, man, I was in a good place. How do I find myself here in this dingy ass cell?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Frankie, there's an old saying from the scriptures: the man that chases 2 rabbits catches none.
Mm, mm, mm. You can't play both sides, bro. Like you dig, and especially, like, listen, man. Meek says it the best in his song. There's levels to this shit, and I truly believe that it's not what you do. Oftentimes, it's not what you do; it's how you do it. And I just believe that the brother was just, yo, bro, like he dumbed out.
Well, no, what I think honestly is that I've seen a lot of people do it in life. Like people start flowing with a script. They're an actor. They're out here acting. And once people start booking you for movies and inviting you in and they start liking your character, you start believing that you're this fucking character. You start lying to yourself and you start believing your own lies, man.
I
Respectfully.
respectfully beg to differ because the brother has always been official tissue. So
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the community activist thing. You start really thinking that you out here doing community activity and that negates everything else you got going on. Like you really start believing your own hype. Like, yeah, I'm really a community activist, but I'm gonna still do this shit.
Basically, you're saying that you begin to live this community activist point to a degree or to a level, whereas you think it overshadows everything else that you're doing. That's not.
Basically, the community activist shit is a rug, and you sweeping everything under it.
And even that,
but eventually, Big Mama gonna come clean up the whole porch and be like, "What's going on? Are you throwing all the dirt under the mat? Nah, player, you want punishment."
But this is where we go, bro. We said this last night, a part of platform track. Signs and symbols are for conscious minds, and again, for a brother like him, who I do have, I have a certain amount of respect, and yes, I honor the aspect of the fact that he went through what he went through, he got through. What I don't respect is the fact that I believe as a man that, like I said, our lives are parallel, regardless of you being from the West and me being from the East, is that you not have it figured out to know that, guess what? Come on, kid. We done seen it happen I know you done seen it happen to the best of individuals on the West, like I've seen it happen to the best of individuals on the East. So as Solomon says, there's nothing new under the sun. I would be a fool to think that I can come out here and go full-fledged into the same arena that the bro Big U was just allowing himself to be sucked back into, or allowed himself to be sucked back into, regardless, or even though he had accumulated or amassed so much, financial financial success, property success, community success,
Hey, but when you're a bully, that's never enough.
Man, yo, bro, listen, again, I respectfully beg to disagree. You dig?
No, I'm not saying he's a bully. I'm just saying in life, bullies they never have a maximum capacity. They're always trying to break the ceiling. They always want more. Just because I could do it, I'ma do it, because that's their true nature as a human being, and it will always ride their intelligence, because their emotions mean more to them. Their pride somehow isn't edible, but it's still digestible. You know what I'm saying? So they want to run with that right there. They be wrong and strong with it, son. You know what I mean?
The characteristics of an individual being narcissistic, huh?
Yes, and a sociopath,
And a social.
megalomaniac,
Yeah.
all them things, Frankie.
Yeah, bro. Like, you know, yo, it's a.
He even probably got PTSD as well.
Yeah,
It's a lot. It's a lot of things, like being in them trenches and all that type of stuff. If you imagine you on the phone speaking that freely about all these things, and you don't give a fuck.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing that gets me, because, yo, bro, man, regardless of, man, what class, color, creed you are, man, what gang affiliation, man, yo, bro, man, those of us that know, we know. That's not what we do. Like you said, man, you know, I was able to tell him, yo, listen, you ain't got me on no motherfucking wire. You know, you ain't got me on no wiretap. I don't do that. I came from an era where that's not what we did. You know, we talk bullshit to niggas, we talk bullshit to bros, but we don't do the business on the phone. We don't talk crazy and give, you know, and that was in a time where the federal government wasn't even on wiretap as big as they are now. You dig?
And I'm gonna keep it real with you, Frankie. What I love about you, you almost kind of Italian, son, the way you do your shit. That's how. Well, you know, I can't speak for everybody, but there was a certain time in the mafia where they talk. My man said, man, when you see that phone, that's a cop right there. When you see your phone, that's a cop on the wall. You better slow it down, boy.
I come from an era, not to say that there's not a few pictures of me. You know, there was times when dudes was happy-go-lucky and the people murdered person may have got a flick. But I come from an era where we didn't take pictures. You dig? I come from an era where you don't talk on no phones. You dig? You use your beeper. You call who you wanted to call back. You dig? Mostly a lot of things is done in person, because now you can peep a person's energy and you can turn a motherfucker away and be like, man, I don't know you. Now, you know, it seems like everybody wants to be heard, wants to be seen, and don't get it twisted. You know, I could be talkative. I talk to people. You dig? But I know what the flip to talk about. You dig? And I'm not just opening any doors or entering any conversations with individuals that's talking foolery that I know what may be attached to it in a criminal aspect. So again, when I look at individuals, again, that goes to that thing of, yo, I'm a grown man. Motherfucker can't tell me what to do. But if you did, you should know better, especially if you come from these elements. You should know what you should be doing and not be doing. You should be knowing what to tell the little bros to do and not be doing in order for you to get caught up in it. And if you can't, or you don't have that ability, stay by yourself.
Well, you know, there's another thing, Frankie, that I peeped from the street people and different individuals that I've been around. A lot of people, when they come from poverty and, you know, destitute places and, you know, just coming from rubbish and coming from the bottom, you battle death, you battle challenges so much every day that becomes your strike, that becomes your reward, that becomes your honor at the end of the day. And a lot of people, the dopamines, the street credit, just the pride that comes with that, and the way it makes you feel when you step out and motherfuckers is tucking chains and they think you're Debo and whatever it is, it's a very addictive feeling. And for some people, they just can't let it go. And once your brain is programmed to challenge death every day, beat it, laugh at it, and go repeat the same message tomorrow, you know, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, you ain't an old dog, Frankie. Yo, the canines come out, but you still that youthful motherfucking lion in the jungle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't play with me, son. I got my stamina up. So your brain moves different. You think different. You're really the diamond in the rough. You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, everybody is not moving that way. And there's a lot of emotional stuff going on. And that's one thing that I gather from you the most. You always tell me too. You were like, yo, Nick, you know what I'm saying? Protocol, fall in line. You know, certain things. You know that everybody's a big homie, but you know everybody got to play their part. You got to know your shit. Like, you're a leader. You're a real leader. is what I'm saying. And just because a person is in a position of power doesn't mean they really know how to lead, or they're even in a mental capacity to benefit the people that are around them. And that's one thing that I always hear you mention. Like you'll be like, yo, because I could have made this play, I could have did this or that, but I had to think about this one, think about that one, boom, 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 boom. So I master it all out, and then I make my play. You know what I mean? And for you, man, I would love to see you in these positions, and these positions are gonna pop up for you. But we'll get back to the topic. But it's just crazy that dudes like this get opportunities, and it's not even sad or disheartening. It's just like a fucking broken record where you don't even want to hear that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? You start feeling demoralized, like, man, all these motherfuckers is just the same. So it like you said, from the prison thing, for people getting out, and destroying opportunities for others. And that does the same thing also on that socio-economic philanthropist give back. They like, okay, look at this dude. He's still doing all this stuff. Man, I'm gonna go over here and mess with these dudes now, because this shit is just for the birds. So it just affects everybody on a lot of levels, man. Pick it up though, Frank.
And that's the thing, bro. You dig? Like, I was always taught, man, from an early age, man. And I think RZA says it best, man. Never to be analog, but to be digital. So
factual, son.
What I say is, I've always strived to be universally adaptable. So, with that being said, I can go anywhere. I can speak to anybody. I can hold commentary with anybody. I may not know everything that you know, but at least I know the basic rudiments of it, or the bare rudiments of it, in order to even open up a dialogue that, guess what? I may be able to scratch the surface of your brain, or go abysmally deep,
vice versa,
in order to extract what you have in order to fill my brain. You dig? So, again, bro, like, it's just the caliber, or it's the caliber of individuals in which, you as an individual strive to be, and also complement yourself with other individuals, and being able to reciprocate that to other individuals. You dig?
But I ain't going front, man. Brooklyn niggas always gave it up real proper style, though. Frankly, you really from that era and all that. So, I'm just proud of you, man. I don't mean to. I try to sound no East Coast, West Coast. I'm just shouting out my Brooklyn niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. It's a lot of people, yeah.
It's a lot of West Coast brothers, man, that are standing tall right now, man, that are coming from the guts of some of the most notorious prisons on the West Coast.
Oh, yeah.
I salute them. You dig? Whether it's the San Quentins, the Folsoms, whatever, man. In the federal system, the Victorville, and so forth and so on, man. Like they say, don't be the kind of individual that won't allow one individual's mistakes or flaws corrupt the ability for another individual to shine as bright as the sun. You dig? By dampering it because of what somebody else did. And a lot of times in our communities, that's what happens. And to our color, black and brown, that's what happens. Once one individual or two individuals, do something that let's say, for lack of better word, the powers that be may see or deem as, I'm not giving no more funding to them people or those people, because look what they did to it.
Well, this the thing too, Frankie. Once things become a pattern, people watch patterns, everything in life, whether it's the algorithm, whether it's sales, whether it's some gangster shit, whatever it is, by Frankie's pattern or this pattern or Nick's pattern, okay, with this at 1 and 2 is going to make 3 right now. Absolutely. Because it ain't rocket science.
Right.
So once they see all that, like I was saying earlier, they gonna step back. You got $20,000 at a Shack. You got $20,000 at a Dreamer on Green. That's fucking peanuts. Let's be honest, Frankie. It might be a little cool money to play around with. You could have got 40 million out of motherfuckers.
Right.
And kept it going.
Right.
Like, on the positive, though. It's like this short-term thinking, this instant gratification. Let me get it popping right now, and I'll burn down the whole fucking bridge in the process.
Short-term transactions at the expense of long-term objectives. Absolutely.
I heard somebody say the other day, you're willing to do 20 years in jail, but you won't work 40 hours a week. What the fuck is going on?
How does that even make sense? But I come from that. I come from that. But the thing that I think that serves me or people know about me is that I didn't even care at that point. So to do that now when I do care would be asinine. You dig?
Yeah.
Because I truly do care now. You dig? And you have to care about something or someone in order to make a difference or to change yourself for that someone or something.
Well, this gets back to what I was saying about people challenging death every day. When you challenge death and you're challenging the hood and you're challenging all this stuff, self-preservation actually doesn't become the primary thing, which most normal human beings would think about, because you're ready to toss your life up every fucking day.
Absolutely.
So this just becomes a normal thing where you just crash out, throw your life away because you keeping it real.
But
and it's like, yo, when keeping it real goes wrong.
But let's say this. A lot of people don't even have an understanding that they're doing it.
Oh, no. Just to get specific, no, that's totally correct. And I 200% agree with you. But I mean, this guy right here, you rubbing elbows with everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You send the boys down to run up on this guy, run down on Khaled.
Keep them on the right track. Correct. There should have been no greater force to keep you pushing to helping and being a service to the youth in your community,
Joe,
and living life to the best of your ability, because you were basically in the it crowd of the politically correct arena on the basically the highest degree. It could have got.
But guess what, Frankie? You still get to be yourself.
Without a question.
Nobody's like, oh, you this gang member. They actually embrace it and love it and admire you for being who you are from that to now. And it turns out to be a whole fucking house of cards.
How big is that true? And you know what? You made a hell of a point, because it wasn't the fact that now you had to go by the attribute of your government name. People still respected you and honored you, even in the form of giving you, whether it was 100,000 or 100 million, as Big U.
Word the mother, the leader of the Rolling 60s. They connected with that, and they said, we gonna fuck with that.
We gonna fuck with that.
You didn't even have to change who you are, and you still risked it all. For what?
Hey, man. Yo, listen, man. This was good. And as they say, all good things have to come to an end. But this is vertical, baby. And this is what you get when you come to vertical. You're going to get the talk that maybe a lot of individuals don't want to hear. But if you open your ears, hopefully something is going to resonate that make you comfortable with hearing it, and hopefully changing what it is that you may be doing wrong, or offering assistance to somebody else in your circumference that may be doing it wrong. Man, with that being said, man, this is Big FB, homie. You dig? And I salute the chat. I send my love and my support to the brothers and sisters that I left behind once again. Once again, I give the biggest respect, the biggest homage, my glory, my grace, my praise goes to the Most High, who allowed this to happen for me. Just yesterday, it seems that I was sitting in prison walls, desolate and dismal and dreary cells. Today, I'm with you, able to hopefully give to you something that you can utilize, or that your son or your daughter, your nieces, your nephews, your uncles, your aunts, your fathers can utilize to be a better person, such as I'm trying and striving to be myself. With that being said, we're going to sign off with this one, man. Uncle Nick, man, anything you got to say it before we push on out, brother.
Yo, all I want to say is, man, yo, shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody holding it down. Shout out to Super Trife. We had a beautiful show yesterday. It was an amazing thing. And I want to say shout out to you, Frankie, because every time we get on this fucker, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm looking at you like Barry Bonds, son. Pow, pow, pow. You just be smacking that shit out the park, son. And you're so gifted, talented. You got the vernacular. You got the wit. You got the wisdom. You got the gangster shit. Man, you got the total package, son. So I just want to say I thank you for thanking me, but I'm thanking you again for even bringing me on the platform, acknowledging what it is that I do, allowing me to come in and articulate and do my little intellectual 1-2, crack my jokes. And we got a great synergy, man. And I just want to say I love you for all that, son. But on the YouTube, outside of it, and all that. And I just want everybody to really listen to this message, man, because this could be your loved one. This could be your child. Pay attention to what's going on. Stay in their ear. Give them a hug. You don't. I wouldn't call it being nosy, but sometimes be nosy, man. Check a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what it is that you doing right now? You know, I'll be brief, but who was around him when they saw that check-in video? No pun intended. Nobody said, hey, homie, stop doing this. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to leave it on that note, man. How you say, man, love the people that love you and let them know you love them, man, and try to live this life the best way because we're growing men. I'm not a grown man. I'm a growing man. And that's how I'm going to leave it,
baby. That's vertical, baby. Yo, man, till the next time, man. Chat, man. We love you, man. We thank you, man. We honor you like you honor us, man. Till the next one, man. This is Vertical Talk FB signing off. One.
Peace.